Military response is one of the most complex missions.
I think the training is as realistic as we can get it.
We give them scenarios that they have not seen before.
We're not only able to protect our country, we're also able to help.
Guardian Response trains soldiers to respond in an emergency disaster scenario.
So Guardian Response is an exercise that brings together the active duty, the National Guard, and the Army Reserve, and to allow them to have training in areas they normally would not see.
Training on decontamination, we have flight ops and task force med, and they also train on urban search and rescue.
This is super important. This is an opportunity for our military folks to work with our civilian agencies.
Being a resource for the civilians rather than like running a combat operation.
You know, we always talk about this mission from the aspect of not if, it's when. And so we have to learn how to operate in that environment.
Instead of preparing for combat, we are preparing for saving lives in our local communities.
A lot of different moving parts, a lot of requirements for people to work together.
We need to provide realistic training done as safely as possible so that when it comes to the event, it's a response that's already practiced.
Because at the time of a disaster is not the time to learn it. So this training is important because our soldiers don't get an opportunity to do this. And to be prepared before the disaster hits, to have that understanding, to have that interoperability is key.
Because when we come into an environment like this, we're not in charge. The civilians are in charge. And we've got to get more flexible in an environment like this to operating the way they operate.
And so adapting to that and to being a resource for the civilians is a total different skill set than we're used to in the military.
And so these soldiers will be better trained when they actually have to respond in the case of an incident. You can't be blessed with a better training area than what we have right here.
Especially for like search and rescue, setting up the decon, it's all here to provide the realism to the soldiers so that it can be as close as possible to what they're going to experience in an actual situation.
It's an opportunity to apply skills that many of us bring as civilians to help that community, to help them rebuild, to help in that response.
And they create the civilian structure that actually would be there in a disaster. So this gives us the opportunity to work with those folks.
So by providing this training platform, we're able to challenge our soldiers, allow them to hone their skills, improve their interoperability, and understand how they fit in the national response.
In which both military and civilian resources will be required to provide help and support to the public.
This is a long, hard exercise. So you've got to run a marathon. This is not a sprint for anybody.
We as a 78th, we're responsible for putting on the entire exercise.
And so, yes, I think that the training is enhanced by the fact that we've got people that really buy in to what we're doing here. We've got the right units at the right time, with the right equipment, the right attitudes to make this a success.
And it has been an eye-opener of the capabilities we bring as part of the United States Army and what we can provide our local communities should there ever be a call to help them.